I gotta say it. Hey, check it out for sure. Get that ding, who the fuck that is. Big Bucks, Mo My King. Yes, back at it again with another episode of Fights and Stuff Like That. What's good? Did you miss me? I missed y'all, man. Again, sorry for not posting for the past couple of weeks. I was having fun. It was life happening. And the boy just turned 40. So I was having so much fun with my friends and family and all of that. Just nice times happening. I was in no condition to record a show because, hey, no lemonade. That's all I can say. But I'm back at it again, and I'm gonna, to the best of my abilities, try to keep the show as consistent as possible because I never want to disappoint you guys. But hey, I give out all the blalamaka, no lemonade. But with all of that aside, we have to get into the ongoings of that is, of course, mixed martial arts that's been happening in the world. And there is no other one to talk about right now than UFC 313 that happened over the weekend. That was, of course, headlined by none other than the Powhatan Shama, Alex Pareira. That guy. And he was fighting Magomed Ankalaev, and the co-main event of that same fight card was Justin Gaethje with Rafael Fiziev, and that was just an amazing turn of events of a fight. Let's get straight into it. All right, kicking it off with the co-main event of the evening, and that is between Justin Gaethje and Rafael Fiziev, man. I think that was an awesome fight. This was actually supposed to be between Justin Gaethje and Dan Hooker, that is Israel Adesanya's fight team member from CKB. They were supposed to be doing the thing with Justin Gaethje, but I think he picked up an injury in training or something. Something was wrong with him, and then he couldn't fight. He had to pull out of the fight. Rafael Fiziev stepped in on 12 days notice, and for the amount of prep time that he had, which was not that much, he actually showed up, and he showed up quite well to go the full distance between him and Justin Gaethje. Now, Gaethje had also been out of the game for a little bit. I think, not a little bit, it's actually quite a long time. I think the last fight that he has was probably about a year ago. So, naturally, I think a lot of people picked Fiziev to be, the favorite for the fight because he had been a little bit more active in the past couple of months, years or whatever, than Justin Gaethje, seeing that he was out. But Gaethje came back, and he looked better than ever. He looked stronger than ever. He looked sharper as ever, and he looked more dangerous and even more flexible, man. There were a lot of just, un-Gaethje-like strikes that he was given the business to Rafael Fiziev. And I'm not gonna lie though, Fiziev took his beating, so to say. He really took it like a man, because he didn't just wait and just coast in the fight. He really took the fight to Gaethje. He threw everything at him. He threw everything that he was supposed to throw at him. All the strikes, everything. It's just that Justin Gaethje proved a little bit too much for him. I think there was a time in the second or third round where in the clinch, Gaethje just got him with a nice uppercut that came off of a very awkward clinch. I don't know how Gaethje landed that, and it just sent him to the ground. Didn't knock him out, but it just dropped him. I think that was in the second round or so. It was also another head kick that Gaethje pulled off from a clinch, pushed him off a little bit. Leg came from South Sudan. I don't know why South Sudan, but it ended up landing on his head. It also rattled him a bit. But in the whole fight, Rafael Fiziev was not shaken at all. He managed to stay in it. He gave Gaethje a really, really, really good fight. I would have loved to see a knockout. I would have loved to see a decisive decision. Hey, I would have loved to see something like that between them, but it just shows you that Rafael Sadiq. Oh my God, guys! Shows you music and 40-year-old things just running through my head. Rafael Fiziev was not a slouch. He has been active, he has been fighting, and he put up a seriously incredible fight for Justin Gaethje. Got him with a lot of punches, a lot of kicks, a lot of shots. He didn't manage to get any takedowns on him. But for what it's worth, man, it was an incredible fight. And it just shows you the resilience of the kind of fighter that that Rafael Fiziev is. You know, he's not someone to turn your head at, or whatever. There's a phrase that I'm trying to say, which is not coming to my mind right now. But he's not someone to ignore. You know what I mean? He's someone that has a really, really great, prolific career, and he's an amazing fighter. He is a dangerous fighter. Just that. At the end of the day, Justin Gaethje proved to be a little bit more on the ball when it came to that fight. But it did go the distance, and Gaethje won with a unanimous decision from the judges that gave him the W for that win. And it was a great fight. You know, I want to see a hell of a lot more from Rafael Fiziev. He's a veteran of the game. He's been in the game for quite a while now. He's no new guy. He's no new fighter on the scene. He has been doing this for quite some time. So, you know, we want to see his star rise too. And he fought against one of the legends of the sport. And between them, it was a dogfight. And because of the judges, Gaethje came out on top. That's what we saw. I really enjoyed that fight. You got to go back and watch it when it comes out. It was a really incredible fight to watch. Justin Gaethje, Rafael Fiziev doing the damn thing. Gaethje getting the W. Fiziev not getting the L on that one, but him not being a slouch, man. Go and check it out. That's Justin Gaethje, Rafael Fiziev doing the damn thing. UFC 313. Nah, I mean. And for the main event of the evening, we had Alex Pareira, the Shama Pareira. Hey-ya, 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 hey-ya. That guy, yes, he was fighting Magomed Ankalaev for the main event of the evening, UFC 313. This fight between Alex Pareira, the Shama Pareira, and Magomed Ankalaev was a bit of an anticlimax for me because I had all my money on Powhatan. I'm not gonna lie. The very little that I have in my bank account, I had it on him. I didn't think Ankalaev was strong enough or even dangerous enough to take him on because Alex Pareira has been on an absolute tear of the light heavyweight division since he got into the UFC. I mean, he fought at middleweight for a little bit. We know how it went between him and Stylebender. We know how all of that went, the history and everything else. But since he went up, he's been really tearing through this division, and I thought he would do the exact same to Ankalaev, but it proved to be otherwise. This was the first time that I actually saw Alex Pareira fighting off the back foot, and it was insane to see because he's always the aggressor, right? He's always the guy that's putting everybody else on the back foot, and we know how he starts his fight. He's always going for the leg kicks and, leg kicks, he's making sure that you lose your balance and everything else. And once he's got you a little bit, discombobulated, then he goes for his strikes and knocks his opponents out. That's how he's won basically all of his fights. But now, here comes another challenger. I don't know why I have the Cuban accent, but here comes another challenger by the name of Magomed Ankalaev. And this man came out of the woodwork and he just put Alex Pareira on the back foot. He used every single tool that he had and put the pressure on him. And this was the first time, like I said, I saw Alex Pareira fighting off the back foot. Like, he was flustered for some odd reason, right? And what I did like about what Magomed Ankalaev did is he took Alex Pareira out of his comfort zone. He was shooting, trying to get takedowns and everything else. None of them was successful, but they did disturb Alex Pereira's game. I mean, Pareira, he's a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu as well. So, I know we never see him use it, but he is, a bona fide black belt. So he had good takedown defense and things like that. So he didn't go down, but you could see that the shots and all of those things that Ankalaev was putting on him were disrupting his game like a mofo. And so that had him very much, confused most of the fight. And Ankalaev didn't manage to knock him out, but he did give him a run for his money. And it shows you that in the sport of mixed martial arts, and in any sport for that matter, no one is invincible. Alex Pareira looked like he was invincible for a lot of his fight, and it looked like there was no one out there that was going to, quote unquote, humble him, right? There's even talks about him at some point fighting John Jones and stuff like that, because he is that incredible of a striker. He's that incredible specimen of a fighter, but here comes Ankalaev that shows you that, you know, even lethal assassins like Alex Pareira can be humbled and can be beat and can be put in their place, so to speak, right? So for the type of fight that Ankalaev gave Alex Pareira, I think it was an incredible fight on his part. It also shows you that Alex Pareira has a lot of holes in his game that we're not necessarily used to seeing, because we know him as the guy that tears through everyone else. The fight went the full distance, and it came out with not and still, but and new light heavyweight champion of the world, Magomed Ankalaev. That was a great win for Magomed Ankalaev. It was obviously a great loss, a great L for Alex Pareira, who's only had his title for about 10 minutes, you know, and he lost it to Magomed Ankalaev. But he has a good record on him. I think I'm not sure how many times he's defended it. I want to say twice or 3 times. I'm not sure. So the whole 10 minutes thing, don't quote me on that one. But he hasn't had the championship for that long, and he's already lost it once. This is the makings of the sport. You know, you win some, you lose some, and there's always someone out there who's more dangerous than you, who's going to show you, regardless of who you are in the game, you can get beat. And that is the reality for every single fight, and that's the beauty of the sport of mixed martial arts. So that's how it went, man. Magomed Ankalaev getting the title, the first time. I think this is the first title that he's ever won in the UFC, being the light heavyweight champion of the world against Powhatan Alex Pareira. But I'm not gonna lie, I think they have to run it back. I think we have to see another fight happening between these two guys. Maybe it might even get to a trilogy, because pound for pound, they matched each other pretty well. And maybe this is going to be an era that we see Alex Pareira use some of his jiu-jitsu, because we just see him as a striker. He's always been a striker. He's always knocked people out. I've never seen him do a single shot, not even in this fight that he had with Ankalaev. He didn't shoot once. He didn't use any of his wrestling, any of his jiu-jitsu, and I don't think in any of the fights that we've seen him before use other tools than just his striking. So maybe this is going to be a new era of Alex Pareira that we're going to see, of him using more of his tools, because we have fighters that are forcing him to go into that realm that he seemingly does not want to access. Don't know why, but that's just the type of fighter he is. So amazing things that are going to be happening in the UFC. I cannot wait to see what happens between these two. I really hope they will run it back for a second time, or even a third, because I think we're going to see a different fight from the one that we just saw from UFC 313. Yeah, man, that is it. UFC 313. Who gets the W? Who's the new? Magomed Ankalaev, who took the L. Alex Pareira. How the boy, these things happen, but you are still the Shama. That's all I got for y'all, folks. I ain't got much more to tell than the story of those two great fights, man. Yeah, if you want to find out what else happened in the world, you got Google. Otherwise, if you like the content, if you like how I break down these fights with the little knowledge that I have, please like, subscribe, share, tell your world, tell your friends, tell whatever, tell the people, to come here and hear the little crazy things I have to say about fighting, because I just love the sport. I love the combat sports, and that's the stuff that I talk about. So yeah, like and subscribe, tell your people. Come back next week for another show. Let's keep this thing growing. I'm going to invest so much money into this thing, because I do want it to grow and be a studio production and all of those things with like nice pictures at the back, But we start small and then we start growing these things. We'll get to those levels. As long as I still have y'all that have subscribed till now, and the more that you're going to invite, everything will be A-OK, B-E-A. Beautiful. Otherwise, that's all for me, Coach OB. A tagara for sure. Next week. Like and subscribe. Okay, now I gotta go because I'm just saying a lot of random stuff. So, peace and much love.